In your spiritual awakening journey, okay, you come to a situation where you are being pulled into solitude or hermit mode, right? Now, this is very important because, it is one aspect on your journey that if you are supposed to know yourself really well, if you are supposed to really upgrade and shed an aspect of you that doesn't belong to you, do the inner work and heal, if you are supposed to say that I own my spiritual journey, I am becoming better, I'm healing, I'm becoming aware of my unconscious patterns, if you are supposed to say that, then it is imperative that you go through this. Now, the solitude or the aloneness isn't something pleasant, right? This is no nonsense spirituality. We are not here to, decorate situation with what words, and I'm talking exactly as it is, because solitude is not pleasant. You get to a situation where you get to a point in your awakening where the universe pulls you back, right? And everything that you have known, anything that was familiar within your experience, will be shut down. Now, if you have experienced this and you resonate with what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about. It is not pleasant. It is not pleasant. So, in my awakening journey, in my solitude and my aloneness and my hermit mode, I didn't understand what was happening because it was new to me. Everything that I knew in my experience, right? My patterns, my routine, my rituals, my practices, anything that was familiar, that made me feel like me. That made me feel like, yo, I know myself. This is what I'm doing. This is working for me. I'm in control. Everything was collapsed. It came crashing on me, and I didn't understand. And you see, I tried to repeat this same practice to make me feel like, oh, I am myself. I am doing this. I know me, and it never worked. So if you're supposed to get to a point where you know yourself, if you're supposed to get to a point where you are healing and shedding any belief that doesn't belong to you, knowing yourself from the deepest core, at the deepest core, if you're supposed to, heal, do the shadow work, the inner work, let go of all attachments. If you're supposed to do any of this, then you cannot skip the hermit mode. And one thing is, it doesn't even ask for your permission. It doesn't ask your permission. It doesn't need your permission. It just comes. It is a very difficult place to be. Very painful, but necessary. It is one of the painful things you will see on your spiritual awakening. And I believe any true awakening journey, any true enlightenment path has this, story. You have to experience it. Right. So you will wake up one day and everything that you have known in your reality, everything that you have known, it doesn't feel like it anymore. The people that you talk to that made you feel like yourself, when you talk to them, you don't feel like that anymore. You don't even feel the need to talk to them. The patterns that you have been repeating, your circumstance, your situation, your friends, your finances, your practice, anything that made you feel like your life is complete and whole, even your spiritual, insight, your wisdom, what made you feel like, I'm a spiritual person. I know this, I know that, this is working for me. I know this method. Anything you have known in your spiritual journey, it will come crashing on you. That is a hermit mode. That is a solitude. That is the aloneness where the universe pulls you back. Anything you have known stops working because another version of you is being born in the background, but it's very slow. You wouldn't even know it is happening. So you'll be pulled into ego death or dark night of the soul. Anything you have known in your reality, any concept, any belief that has worked for you, it will stop working. And that is very frustrating because you don't know who to ask, because you know yourself, you know what works for you, and all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore. And you are confused. That is a very difficult place to be. You don't feel the need to talk to people, right? You are expected to sit in that empty space. You are not expected to fill that emptiness with anything, with any distraction, with any conversation. Right? If you were building a relationship, you will lose it. Your businesses, it will collapse. Your interaction with your people, your friends, your family, anything you have known, it will collapse. And you'll be left with yourself. You'll be sitting with your own emptiness, your shadows, your darkness, the aspect of you that you were not aware of or you were running away from. The unconscious patterns that are what directing your life in the background that you didn't know, you'll be forced to see them. It is not pleasant, it is not beautiful. That is not beautiful, but it is very necessary. If you have experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. It's a difficult place to be. Your patterns will change, right? You will wake up very tired. Your dreams will be heavy and vivid. That is the hermit mode. You are undergoing a very significant change in your journey where you don't really know what's happening. The life you knew is gone. The familiar things are not working. The old patterns, they don't feel like home anymore. The people that you used to talk to, they don't make sense to you. The new life is also not there yet. So you are in between. A very difficult place, very confusing. At a point in time, I was asking the universe why I'm going through this, because I was suffering. It was difficult for me. And I was asking the universe if I've done anything wrong. Yes, because it was too heavy. I'm talking about too heavy for me. It's not something I've seen before. And you see, this state can last for months, years. Because it's a process. You are going through it. You are shedding away old beliefs. Any belief that doesn't belong to your path, your journey, your soul, you will lose it. And you will come out with a different self. An authentic self where you are not waiting on anybody. Where all your ideas, all your wisdom come from you. You are building, you are emerging as the you are supposed to be. So it is a ground where you are letting go of anything you thought was real. Yes, there are certain beliefs, even spiritual beliefs, spiritual concepts that you thought was real. But this phase, this hermit mode is going to teach you that you are just playing with beliefs from people. You inherited beliefs, trauma patterns, and you were working with it. And you called it yourself. So a new self is being born in the background. You don't know when it's going to be complete. You just find yourself in a situation where things are not working anymore. It's a very difficult place to be, trust me. It is very painful. But I also think you must experience it. You must go through that. Because that is the only way. That is the only way to create a self that really belongs to you. It's a difficult place to be, trust me. If you have experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. And you see, it doesn't come with any manual. It doesn't come with any help. In my situation, if your experience is going to be like mine, it's a difficult place to be. I'm not lying to you. You will lose yourself. You will lose yourself, anything you have known. And you see, you will try to get yourself back by practicing all the things that you have been doing. It won't work. It won't feel like home. You will be doing the same things, but it wouldn't feel like home. It wouldn't feel like it's working. It wouldn't feel like it belongs to you anymore. And what truly belongs to you is also not there yet. That is what I'm talking about. Very confusing state. You cannot measure any success in that state. You cannot measure anything. You don't have any metric to work with. You don't know what is happening. There are no parameters. Things are just happening randomly. You don't know what's happening. But the psyche is going through a change, a shift. Very, very important, but very, very uncomfortable. So, I came across videos from Carl Jung. People were making videos about Carl Jung. That was the first time I heard about Carl Jung when I was going through that. And I realized, I'm not alone. This thing is real. I'm sitting with my shadows, my unconscious. It's letting go of all things that do not belong to me. And that makes me small. And that is not comfortable. Trust me, it is not. You might be forced to, distract yourself from the process. It won't work. It only makes it a lot more painful and confusing. So you're going to get to a stage where your old spiritual ideas, they don't work anymore. They don't feel like it belongs to you. You don't feel like it is you. You don't feel like you anymore. Anything you have known, your beliefs, your concepts, your wisdom, anything you have built, including your spiritual experiences, it is going to change. It's going to shift. And that is the most important shift you will ever see in your journey. That is what I think. Yes, because right after that, you are going to see a self that is real, authentic, very powerful. And, that is how come you are going to experience the real you that you are, the real self, the consciousness that you are, the light that you are, the spark that you are. That is where it's going to be built. But it doesn't feel like it. You know, the experience that I'm describing, anything you will see during that phase doesn't feel like you are growing. It feels like death. It feels like pain because the life you knew isn't there anymore and you don't know what to do. Very difficult. And if I'm going through this, I just want you to know that you are not failing, even though it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you are failing. It doesn't feel like you are growing. It doesn't feel like you are being helped or loved by the universe because everything you knew is crashing. See, if I'm going through that, it's a major shift that you are going through. It's painful, uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. Do the little things that can make your life, that can make you lighten up a bit. It's not going to be enough, but it's not supposed to be comfortable. That is it. It is not a comfortable phase. You're not supposed to be happy about it. That's how come you know that you are going through the shift. You are experiencing the real thing. It's not supposed to be pleasant. It's not beautiful. It is not. You're not going to like it. You are going to be confused. It is a divine confusion. You are supposed to be confused. That's how it's supposed to feel like. Ego, the dark night of the soul, solitude, the aloneness you are going through isn't random. Something great is being born in the background. And I hope you realize this very soon. Thank you.